In today's first reading, we hear St. Paul say that we exist for the praise of glory, that is, the praise of God's glory. I immediately think of St. Elizabeth of the Trinity, a young Carmelite saint who died at a very young age, but who had this great devotion to the Trinity. She understood, in some sense, that her entire life was devoted to the praise of God. She was meant to give God praise, and she even went so far as giving herself the nickname Praise of Glory. So she would go by, she said, I will be known as the Praise of Glory, and that's what she was called. So she developed by the end of her life, in her last retreat, a sort of 5-step model or 5 things to keep in mind for those who want to be the praise of glory. It was mostly for herself, but I think it's a kind of spirituality that can be shared by many of us. Father Daniel Chowning, a Carmelite priest, summarizes these 5 steps. The first step is this. He says, one who is rooted in love is the praise of glory. This love, this rootedness in love, is the love of God and of neighbor. So in order to be the praise of glory, you have to have a total love for God and for your neighbor, to hold nothing back, basically. Secondly, one must cultivate interior silence. One must be so much enveloped in silence that there is no room for distraction. And this is a deep interior listening to God. It's not just about having sort of an atmosphere of silence, but it's about listening closely to God to understand what is His will for your life and how you accomplish that. Thirdly, the praise of glory keeps her gaze on God in faith and simplicity. So it's always about looking at God. This person who is the praise of glory always looks at God, always looks towards Him, and never looks at anything else in the world, never looks even at herself. Fourthly, she says, to be the praise of glory, you must not be preoccupied with oneself. You must not be preoccupied with yourself. And you have to let go of unhealthy preoccupations, useless fears, and interior noise. So again, that interior silence is so important. But you must not be focused on yourself, but always looking at God, always looking at Him, and being attentive to Him. Finally, you must be full of gratitude. You must understand that everything is a gift. Everything is a grace from God. Everything is really given by His mercy. So in these 5 ways, these 5 short steps, 5 attitudes we could say, little by little she understood that she could be transformed into the praise of glory. And this then becomes also our way of being transformed into the praise of God's glory. If St. Paul is right, and of course he is right when he says that we exist for the praise of God's glory, then we can follow St. Elizabeth of the Trinity to become that which we were made to be.